Am I the arsehole for reporting my racist coworker? So to make a long story short, one of my coworkers, we'll call him Mike, has made some pretty awful comments as of late. The first comment happened a couple days ago now. He stated that, if black people run our country we'd be no better than the savages in Africa. The second was when he'd just finished a discussion with one of our customers and said, I should have known he'd be a cheapskate, anyone with a name like Muhammad is always a greedy sob. I mentioned to a third-party cohort, we will call him Jim, that this kind of thing isn't really appropriate for our work environment and that I would be reporting Mike to our HR. I asked Jim if he would also like to file a report with me since some of these comments were directed at him and he was a witness. Jim decided I was an asshole since being racist shouldn't cost you your job.
Yes, it should cost you your job. You have no business working around people if you can't treat them all with decency and respect. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. There is no place for hatred, bigotry or racism in a professional workspace.
Not the asshole. Being racist should absolutely cost you your job, as it can affect your work, and the workplace's culture. If someone who worked in HR was racist, for example, that would not be good because they would not be fostering a diverse workplace. If someone in financial compensation was racist, that could lead to less pay for POC. Being racist is absolutely a reason to be fired.
Not the asshole. Semi-retired black woman here. Back in the day, I would have been fired for reporting co-workers for making comments like that, and I knew people who were fired. Talk about toxic work environments, which we had to put up with in order to keep our jobs. It's so gratifying now to see people call it out as wrong.
Not the asshole. And yes, being a racist absolutely should cost someone their job. I don't want to do business with someone who may make racist comments. Not the asshole. Jim and Mike Ta.
Not the asshole. And we're not that much of savages here in Africa, we're pretty cool except for the government. Other than that, we're cool. Yep, saying those things at work absolutely should cost you your job. Especially when it's about a paying customer. If the company knows and does nothing, they can be sued by anyone who feels threatened by that blatant racism being tacitly allowed. Not the asshole.
What? How is this even a question? It's just a matter of time customers raise hell due to this AH's racist remarks. Let me put it this way, if you don't report him, it may cost you your job, because any lawsuit or mass boycott may potentially ruin your company. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If people want to run their mouths, they deserve it.
Being racist should absolutely cost you your job. End of discussion. Not the asshole.
Yes, being racist should absolutely cost you your job. There's a reason they fire people for being racist. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole, cheapskate.
Not the asshole. Freedom of speech versus freedom of consequence. I wish some people would learn the difference. Being a racist over and over again greater than should less than cost you your job. The workplace is meant to be a diverse place and also a place safe from fear of hate and bigotry amongst the others you work with. This wasn't an offhanded comment said once, it was a series of racist remarks that interfered with your working environment. I'm sorry, what? Being racist should absolutely cost you your job. Not the asshole, man. Not the asshole. Not even a little. Note that reporting someone to HR doesn't mean that they will be fired. HR could take any action from a warning to no action at all. Getting this kind of crap on the record is important though.
Not the asshole. Also, Mike is saying these things because he believes nobody will challenge him. And if nobody challenges him, he'll think it's because you guys are agreeing with him and not because, oh, they're just keeping silent because they're uncomfortable. He's testing the waters. If nobody says anything, he'll only escalate. Please report that guy.
Not the asshole. I mean, he's probably also costing your company business if he's out there throwing around racist comments.
Not the asshole, and thank you for doing this. Not the asshole. Being blatantly racist should always cost you your job, especially if you're doing it in the workplace.
No, being a terrible person should cost you your job, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Being racist should definitely cost you your job. Especially if you're being racist on the job.
It's not up to you whether he'll lose his job over this. It's up to company that employs him whether he should lose his job over racism. It's up to you whether you speak up and try to put a stop to this racism or step back and condone it. Not the asshole.
Report Jim to NTA.
I disagree. Being racist should absolutely cost you your job, so not the asshole. He's representing, talking on behalf of his workplace. Unless the people in charge, the boss, are of the same mind, I'm pretty sure they don't want people to think of their workplace and how they are racist, hiring people with those viewpoints.
Not the asshole. Being racist shouldn't cost you your job is one of the dumbest things I have heard.
Completely not the asshole. I'd also distance yourself from Jim. I wouldn't be surprised if he holds similar views and that's why he's getting so butthurt about this.
Not the asshole. Guess you know Jim is also a racist now, at least.
Not the asshole. Being blatantly racist to customers and around coworkers is inexcusable. He is living in the 21st century, not the 16th. As for your cohort Jim, he is complacent with Mike's racism and because of that he is an asshole and a racist as well. Not the asshole. Racists should not have jobs.
Not the asshole, and now you know you need to avoid Jim as well.
Not the asshole. The thing about gyms is that they secretly agreed with the Mikes but are smart enough to keep their mouths shut. That's the only difference.
Not the asshole. Greater than Jim decided I was an asshole since being racist shouldn't cost you your job. Mike wasn't just holding racist beliefs. He was actively spouting them at his job, toward his coworkers and clients. There's an argument that just holding racist beliefs shouldn't cost you your job. I'm not going to argue about that here because that's not really the issue at hand. Mike isn't getting in trouble for holding racist beliefs, he's in trouble for actively spouting racism towards coworkers at his job.
Not the asshole. He could talk like that to colleagues and customers alike. Bad for morale and business. That kind of behavior is thankfully becoming really unpopular. If it got out it could destroy business. Not the asshole. I had a coworker who made some awfully racist comments one day when we were having a work happy hour. I brought it up to my boss the next morning. I was terrified about how my boss would react, but it turned out my boss believed me and got the dude fired. Don't feel guilty about it. Racists should learn they can say whatever they want, but their words have consequences.
Not the asshole. Free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences, and people of color deserve dignity and respect in any industry or situation. Sing it with me kids, if you're racist and you're fired it's your fault. If you're racist and you're fired it's your fault. If you're shouting out white power and are fired within the hour you were racist, you got fired, it's your fault.
Let's just put aside the very obvious moral arguments here. Let's also put aside how poor your judgment would be to be openly racist at work. Look at it from the company's perspective. By being a racist, you are a liability to your company. Point blank. They don't want you working for them if you expose them to more liability. Trucking companies aren't going to hire folks with DUIs and preschools aren't going to hire sex offenders. Most companies trying to avoid lawsuits are not going to employ people who are openly racist at work. NTA.
Bullshit. Being unabashedly racist should absolutely cost you your job. Bigots need to be taught that people should be judged by actions and decisions, not things they have no choice in. Not the asshole.
I hate to break it to you, but Jim is definitely also a racist.
Not the asshole. Racism should have no place in society, let alone the workplace. Please do report him. If he loses his job it's as a result of his own shitty behavior.
Not the asshole. It should cost his job, and if he knows his behavior is liable to cost him his job, and he continues to act like that, then good riddance.
Not the asshole. Looks like Jim's a racist, too.
Not the asshole. Being racist should absolutely cost you your job. There is no room in the world for racism, let alone the workplace. Definitely report this person.
Not the asshole. Thank you for reporting. Racism absolutely should cost you your job.
If we gotta be sober at work, y'all gotta be not racist at work. All for the same reasons: safety, productivity, and integrity. Edit. Definitely not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Being a racist should cost people their jobs. Good for you for speaking up.
Not the asshole. Being racist is definitely a reason to lose your job. Filing a complaint will teach him that sort of thing isn't acceptable.
Not the asshole. Being racist should absolutely cost you your job. There is no space for that kind of small-minded ignorance and hate in society. Racists need to learn their viewpoints aren't valid, and if it takes hard lessons for the information to stick, then that's their choice. Also, Jim should learn which side of the argument he wants to be on, because defending a racist's livelihood and standing up for them is equally abhorrent. Edited because I got my second wind about Jim right after hitting post. Open mouth smile.
Not the asshole, he deserves to be fired.
Yes, it should cost you your job. NTA.